Well guys, it seems we finally have the smoking gun when it comes to proof of two-tier policing, not that we really needed it. And this came just a few hours after Mark Rowley, Chief Metropolitan Police Pons, told us two-tier policing didn't exist.
It's complete nonsense. We have commentators from either end of the political spectrum who like to throw accusations of bias at the police because we stand in the middle. We operate independently under the law without fear or favour.
Unfortunately for him, we actually have a senior West Midlands police officer not only admitting they use two-tier policing in Birmingham, but also admitting they let armed gangs of Muslim men roam the streets policing themselves.
Why was there such a low-key, should we say, police presence? Because, I mean, clearly your officers were there, but they were not visible, and yet there were an awful lot of people out and an awful lot of people who were armed with various weapons.
So we have really strong business and community relations, and because we were aware through intelligence that there was a potential protest through that misinformation yesterday, we had the opportunity to meet with community leaders, with business leaders prior to that event to kind of understand the style of policing that we needed to deliver during the course of that operation. So we knew that there was going to be a large amount of people out on that counter-protest. We knew who the vast majority of those people were. We'd had conversations in terms of what that was likely to look like, and so our policing response was commensurate to that intelligence and the information that we'd held with our partners and communities prior to that event taking place.
Well guys, I think that's a perfect example of how not to defend yourself against accusations of two-tier policing, because he literally admits it here.
We had the opportunity to meet with community leaders, with business leaders prior to that event to kind of understand the style of policing that we needed to deliver during the course of that operation. So
yeah, they spoke with community leaders to see what style of policing they needed, and my guess would be these so-called leaders said they would send out the militia to do it, and you said righty-ho and off you went. In fact, it could be more than a guess based on what he said in this bit.
We knew that there was going to be a large amount of people out on that counter-protest. We knew who the vast majority of those people were. We'd had conversations in terms of what that was likely to look like, and so our policing response was commensurate to that intelligence and the information that we'd held with our partners and communities prior to that event taking place.
Now, to me, that sounds like they told you they would be armed and you apparently had no problem with it, because police cars drove past them multiple times with swords clearly on display. Shit, it was on Sky fucking News. This, though, has to be one of the most scandalously stupid interviews I think I've ever seen on the part of a copper trying to defend the police farce that he works for. I mean, shit, he's literally just proven two-tier policing is a thing, because we all know the other side don't get the same treatment, do they? In fact, they just get batons and dogs from the very start, let's be honest. Now, Sky News, to their credit, didn't give up on the fact that these people were armed or anything like that, I guess because they tried to slash their van tyres before they attacked pubs and other people.
Even given there were so many of them clearly armed, I mean, would you do the same if it was an EDL type situation?
So we've policed in response to the intelligence that we received at that moment in time. What I would say is that the vast majority of people that attended that protest yesterday did so law-abidingly, and they did it with the right intentions. There were just a small minority of people that attended there and were intent on causing either criminality, disorder or fear within our communities. What we saw was a response from our communities where they were trying to kind of make sure that that was policed within themselves as well, and trying to deter people from taking part in that disorder. And as a result, we've been able to go on, gather that evidence, gather that information. We have made arrests. Well, we've made an arrest this afternoon. We continue to try and make arrests in terms of those people that were involved in those disorders yesterday.
Now that there is truly a laughable response to being asked about groups of armed men standing on the street without a care in the bloody world.
Far right.
What we saw was a response from our communities where they were trying to kind of make sure that was policed within themselves. Yeah, I clearly think they failed to police themselves, much the same as you failed to police without fear or favour, because let's be honest here, you fear them, don't you?
I just shat myself.
pandemic.
Where